Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
Welcome to episode 1 of Dan Bernstein Unfiltered, a 312 Sports Podcast Network podcast. Well, how did we get here? Matt Abbatacola is sitting with me. He is the senior producer of this and the host of others under the 312 Sports umbrella. Matty.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Here we are.
We're here. We're here.
It's crazy.
We're here. How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Yes. Well, we got here primarily because I went psycho on a Twitter troll. That's why. And I think it's really important as we get started, as I've thought about this. And I can't tell you how many times I've written down notes about what I was going to do and what I was going to say. And the number of times I crumpled it up and said, this sounds stupid or this doesn't sound like me. And eventually that's kind of what I decided to do, was see this red light and look you in the eye and look you, the longtime listener, in the eye. And just talk. And I think that's probably the best thing we can do. And you need to hear this from me. You do, because you've been with me a long time. You need to hear. Everything that happened since it first started into the bloodstream and this whole thing started rolling the way it did is my fault. Entirely. Everything that was coming to me, I've earned. I am still facing, the consequences of my actions. It's because of what I chose to do. There's nobody ganged up against me. There's no vast conspiracy here. It's my fault because of my shortcomings. And I've learned a lot about those shortcomings. And none of what I'm going to tell you about what I've learned is meant to sound like an excuse in any way. Let me say that explicitly. Explanations are not excuses. Everything that happened to me, I earned. And that's okay. And acknowledging that and understanding that is immensely important in rebuilding and healing from it, which is what I've been doing. What has it been, 5 months? Right? 5 months on that start of March. Mm-hmm. And I immediately tried to figure out, like everybody else did. And people ask you, what was that? What happened? Why'd you do that? And I was ashamed, scared. I felt alone. I was lonely. And I felt like I didn't know who I was at that point. And it turns out there were reasons for that this had been building for a while. And not just externally, not just talking about, you, the longtime listener, or publicly, or everything that was. Social media, we'll get into that too. It was with my own family. And when you have your kids look at you like, what the hell? Dad, what are you doing? This is our house. This is our college education, our livelihood. What are you putting at risk here? A wife of 26 years looking at you like that, and the loneliness, the fear, and the shame was a real thing that I brought on myself, and that I had to deal with. I had to figure out. So I started in to do that with professional help, with my therapist, who I trust implicitly. And so we started out with an intensive, I know the easy phrase is anger management, but that's not what this was. It's much more nuanced and much deeper and more complicated than just that. Sort of the retail level thing would be referred to as anger management, about impulse control, etc. But this was, while it could fall under that category, we were an intensive psychotherapy treatment. Not inpatient, but just meeting every day. and working through this hour by hour and day by day to figure out what happened, why it happened, what was going wrong. And sometimes with the benefit of hindsight, over an extended period of time, you learn a lot more than you expected to learn. You remember, and I know you remember when I was hospitalized a couple of years ago. And I talked about this on the air. I talked about it on the score, about how when I was diagnosed with acute anxiety and being on the OCD spectrum somewhere with some compulsive behaviors. It wasn't true OCD, but it fell under that realm. And that's how they figured out some medications and said, look, you take a low dose of escitalopram, low dose of the brand name is Lexapro. I take the generic escitalopram. And that would be the appropriate way to deal with some of this stuff. I said, okay, fine. And remember, that was about my blood pressure, and I was freaking out about what my blood pressure numbers were. And then that was making it worse, and I was getting into a negative feedback loop where the worry would make the blood pressure bad, and the blood pressure would increase the worry. And it ended up mimicking a heart event and sent me to the hospital because they thought I was having a heart attack. And they did an angiogram, and they go through it, and everything. They said, your heart looks pristine. They said, everything looks, there's no clogs, there's no anything, you're fine. This was all anxiety. It was all mental. And we said, okay, so we thought that's what it was. It was just that. What we've learned, in this ensuing time, what we're learning, I should use the present tense because there's no mission accomplished sign. This is not like you do this and it's over and congratulations, here's your ribbon, you're done. I'm never done. And I'm going to be open and honest with you about that as this goes on. I'm going to share the mental health journey is I don't have to tell you, Maddie, but the mental health journey is an ongoing thing. It's part of my life. And I've learned that it has been, and it's been untreated for God knows how many years, and now is being treated. But we know now, I know now, that the stuff with the fish, maybe some other stuff leading up to that, perhaps, was the culmination of a slow-rolling mental health crisis that was never really properly addressed because we never got into the actual root causes of it. And it's not necessarily cinematic. You don't get these Goodwill Hunting moments of breakthroughs where you say, wow, that was it. And now I found these things. It's gradual. It's much more like the way the ocean inexorably erodes rock and polishes stones, that sometimes you have to see over time and take a snapshot and say, wow, look how far this has come, or look how different this looks now, or how this feels compared to how it was. But we've learned a lot, and we've done a ton of work, and it has been some stuff going back to early childhood. It's been some much more mundane stuff, in large part about, believe it or not, social media. And I've learned that the way, for me, Twitter specifically, rewired my brain for the worse. And a lot of shitty things that have happened in my career and bad decisions that I've made have been related to Twitter. And you know them. They're public. And we talked a lot about it in therapy. Why? What has been happening, and what was getting worse? Why was it getting worse? Why did it end up like it did? Why did I respond like I did in that moment? And what I've learned is about what clinicians refer to as the dopamine outrage cycle. And what happens with the way social media, specifically Twitter, has found a way into that mechanism of the dopamine outrage cycle, of little hits here and there, and feeding an actual chemical addiction. That there are ways that your brain starts to crave these things. And when you're on your phone before bed, and when you wake up and you grab it, tap, 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 or how many likes, it is a real thing. And to incite outrage on purpose, insidiously, even for those of us who think we're smarter, those who say, I'm not going to fall for that. I'm smarter than that. You can't get me with your little psychological tricks. Bullshit. Because there are ways where you don't know what's happening to you. You don't know until you do something crazy that it has been happening to you and that things have gotten in there. Bottom line, Twitter's bad for me. I don't think I need to tell you that. Twitter is unhealthy for me. So, hey, Bernstein, I just saw you tweet. I did, and I'm going to keep the account. I'm not going to flush 70,000 followers down the toilet because that'd be stupid from a marketing perspective. So just so you know sort of where we stand here, I'll do my best to respond to DMs because it's people I know and people I follow. I do like to lurk a little on Blue Sky. Blue Sky's become a really good place to get news, and there's a lot of smart people. It's a lot of liberal doomsaying and a lot of, because sometimes it just makes me tired. And also, I think Blue Sky has trouble taking a joke. It's not. I wish it were funnier. There's some very, very funny people on Blue Sky, but they don't seem to really lean in enough to wanting to be funny, so it's not as entertaining, but it's a good place to get news, and I like being on there, and I think that the environment there is certainly less toxic than Twitter, because obviously I don't even tell you how Twitter has made itself worse on purpose, and it's tried to be worse on purpose, and congratulations, it is. So I am going to post stuff there for marketing reasons, shows and everything that, we're doing things I might want you to know about what we're doing, but I'm not on Twitter. It's not my show, but I'm on that show. I'll put stuff up there, but I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to react. I don't read my notifications because it's bad for me. I have a clinical doctor's order not to. So it's been helpful. That's made me feel better. Frankly, not being on Twitter has been really important to me. And that's a big part of the ongoing process. See my notes here.
Granddad.
Yeah, well, The other thing I've really experienced throughout this, remind me to stay in the present tense. You learn who your friends are. You learn what it means to be a friend. You learn what it means to know that someone is a friend. And you know the opposite. You know when people were abusing the idea of friendship, where people wanted to be friends on their terms or have your friendship mean something to them for selfish reasons, or when you're a commodity to people, when you're there to help other people make money. And you think that you've got people who are actual friends, but you've been convenient for them more than when it comes time to be there for someone else. The smallest things. But I know who was there to say, how are you? Are you okay? The answer was no. No, I'm dealing with the culmination of a mental health crisis is the answer to that. No, I'm not. I'm not okay. But I am now. I'm getting there. I'm working on it every day. Every day. I'm trying to make sure I'm okay, and I am. I don't want to paint this as I'm not in crisis. But thanks to everybody who has been genuinely friendly, who has been there, who just said, "Look, I know this is bad. I hope you're okay. Is there anything I can do?" Little check-ins, little things. You know and you learn who your friends are. And that's been really valuable to me. This whole process has been really valuable in cleaning a whole bunch of things out. I was working at the same place for 30 years. And I was very set in my ways and very comfortable. And I do think that also contributed to the insularity of my own thinking. And this shock to the system after 5 months, I'm going to look back on this as one of the best things to happen to me. I know it's cheesy, it's trite, but in my case, I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't think it were true. And there's people I need to thank. This is an endless list. Maddie, I want to thank you. I love you.
I love you too, pal.
And I didn't know you'd matter this much. I really didn't. I didn't know that you did matter this much. And it's to be sitting here, it's mind-blowing to me from where we started from that first phone call to be here in a custom designed studio back in Prudential Plaza of all places. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you. This is going to be great. You know this is going to be great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubts. That's why I'm here.
Thanks to the brilliant John Goforth, the wise and patient Keith Lawless, and the wonderful Jenny Hubbard for taking this chance, for meeting us halfway on this, for being as proactive and deliberate and careful and thoughtful as they've been here at Hubbard Broadcasting International, going to the very, very, very top. And I can see why people love this company and love this organization. I really can. So thanks to everybody. Anybody who, whether it's been an Instagram note or whether it's been coming up to me in the grocery store and just saying, hey, I missed you on the air. The number of people, are you going to start a podcast? Love to hear a podcast. Love to hear a podcast. You can start a podcast. My favorite one, and I've been doing a ton of fishing because I needed to get that. That's what I've been doing, really. Also, I've been having like 8-hour fishing days. No,
that's not exaggeration.
No shit,
like at all.
I have probably between March and now. I was trying to add up. I'm probably at over 100 smallmouth bass, 12, maybe what, 200 rock bass, at least 12 or 13
million
freshwater
salmon.
Drum. No, one salmon.
One salmon.
I caught one coho.
Yeah, because when I call you, you call me. You're either on the way home from fishing, going fishing, or actually fishing.
And the number of people that come up to me while fishing, the best comment I got, guy's like, "You Bernstein?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I have never liked you. But I sure miss listening to you." And I said, "What's your name?" And he told me, and I said, "That is the best thing I've ever heard."
Yeah.
I said, "You have no idea how much that makes my day." And I said, "If I did a podcast, would you listen?" And he kind of was like, "Yes, I probably would." I'm like, okay, that's all I need to hear. And you're here too after. How long out of the business?
So it's been 8 years.
Damn.
8 years that I left the score. And, I think if people had to put a wager on, like, all right, Bernstein's going to start a podcast, who's going to do it with him? No one would have picked me.
I tried that with people close to me. You were all people, nobody even thought of you. You were so far off the radar.
Yeah, off the radar. Because I think, we go back 24 years now, which is insane to think. That I started interning on the show, I was 28. And it's insane.
Which is late for an intern.
Oh, I got it. I was the oldest intern ever.
No, the guy McNeil hired. Remember McNeil hired his bartender? Dude, seriously, remember? Remember like 56-year-old guy who's back there cutting paper? Right. Like, who are you? And he was like, "I'm Al." Like, Al, what? Yeah, he lasted like 3 days, and they finally asked, like, "Who is this guy?" I don't know.
So yeah, we started together 24 years ago. It's insane. Was the EP for the show for almost 15 years. I left in May of 2017. So our show ended in January of 17.
Right.
I was there for a few more months, and then I just left. I left on my own. I look back on it, and I regret the way that I did it. Because I walked into I walked in the office, and I quit on the spot, and I said, when this update shift ends, I'm done. I'm not coming back. Had nothing lined up, didn't have anything in radio, didn't have a job lined up. I needed to be done. I'd gotten to a point in my own life where my ego had gotten so out of control, just bad decisions, personal, professional. I got to a point where people talk about looking in the mirror, not liking the guy that you see staring back at you. For me, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even not liking him. I didn't even know the guy anymore. Like, I didn't know who I had become, who I was, because I knew deep down inside that my core values and beliefs, that was not the guy that I was seeing every day. That was not it. And I needed to get out, because I was not going to get on my own journey that I've been on the last 7 years and still do radio. It wasn't going to happen. Do I regret the way I did it? Absolutely. Do I wish maybe I had stuck around and tried to work through things? Yeah, maybe. But in the end, that was the best decision for me to get where I am today in life. I sit here today as the best version of myself that I've ever been. And I work to get a little better each day. That's all there is, and the gaps between days aren't as significant anymore, which is great. The gaps were huge at certain points early on. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. But I have the happiest life I could ever imagine having. I have an incredible wife. I have a great blended family of, 5 total kids, my daughter, my 2 boys, and then 2 stepsons. And the boys are almost 13, 12 and a half, 11, and 9 and a half. And it's just a lot of sports and a lot of coaching and a lot of fun things that we get to do. I couldn't be happier in my life. I'd always missed radio. I'd always missed doing what we did. I think part of what I went through at the end of it was the loss of the show. That was my everyday for 15 years.
Yeah, you mourn that like a death almost.
Yeah, and I never really thought of that. Never even worked through it, and it was just kind of like it was just gone one day, and my role changed from executive producer, a senior producer at the place, to just doing updates. And that was a jarring move to have happen. And I get why it was done, and I appreciate the incentive behind it. But I never realized that, I needed to really mourn that, like you said. So I walked away. And what I have been doing the last 8 years was I got in sales. And I've been doing sales for some really great companies. I worked at ADP. I worked at Wolters Kluwer. Worked for a great firm out of Boston called Keystone Partners. Have dear friends I made there that I will have the rest of my life. And then worked for a firm downtown here called Access One. Just really good people. But I'd always missed the opportunity to do radio. So when we had this opportunity, and the stars aligned in the right way, so many things happen. Obviously, your departure, and I reached out to John Goforth, who we knew from the Score. And I knew he was launching a podcast network, and he was looking for people with ideas.
I did not.
And you did not. And I saw the message, and I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to him. Maybe he'll remember me. Hopefully he does. And obviously he remembered me, and we got together, and through the course of that conversation, we learned we lived in Libertyville. We're both in the same town. So it's like, well, shoot, this is crazy. So let's get together. I had pitched an idea to him. He had said, hey, are you still close with Bernstein? So yeah, and of course we still talk.
But we hadn't talked in years. Right?
Years though. But I mean, we would text. I would text into the show.
Yeah, here and there. Yeah.
But it was no phone calls, no conversations about life. It was just texting about things. And he was like, well, would you mind reaching out to him? I'd love to get Dan, and get you and Dan together. So yeah, I'll throw it out to him. I never thought in a million years you'd want to do a podcast. I just didn't. So that day I meet with John, I go home, I'm on the couch, I'm watching TV, the phone rings, I look over, and it says Dan Bernstein. And I'm like, what? No. I mean, you hadn't called me since probably 2016.
I was up in Libertyville, near Libertyville. I don't want to give away one of my favorite fishing spots, but I've got a little hidden place up there in an unincorporated area of Lake County where I'll bass fish. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm up here. Maddie lives up here. And that was early.
That was early.
I was still
a week, maybe.
Yes, I was still really in confusion and mourning mode and intense. The same day, I just finished a 2-hour therapy session.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
There.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe,
yeah.
But like I say, the fishing and being in both the literal and figurative wilderness was a big part of my therapy.
Yeah.
Like actually needing to get outside and stand near water, and it's been immensely important to me in ways I didn't even understand. So I'm driving back. I'm like, oh, yeah, let me give Maddie a call and just talk.
Yeah, so the phone rings. It's Bernstein. I couldn't believe it. I answer the phone. We start talking. What are you doing? Oh, I'm fishing. I'm up, in your neck of the woods, and I'm heading back home. And I said, oh, it's good to talk to you. How are you? What's going on? Anything new happened lately? Let's catch up. And then Dan says, have you ever, I'm thinking about maybe sometime down the road getting into like a podcasting situation. Would you ever want to be involved in a podcast? And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, yeah, of course I would. And I go, yeah, let me circle back with you. I might have an opportunity for us to maybe do something.
But I'm thinking like, what's he talking about? An opportunity.
So we hang up, and first thing I did is I tell my wife, and I said, you'll never believe, Dan Bernstein just called me. So then I text John, and I was like, hey, you're never going to believe this, but Dan just called me, and we like broached the topic of a podcast.
And then we had a meeting within a week. Within
a week, we got together. The four of us got together. Me, you, John, and Keith.
Things got very, very real very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah, it was John's vision from the get go to do this together, for us to be together and do this. So that's all that. And now 5 months later, here we are doing the first episode of Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
It's amazing. It has, as I've explained, it's tested my cynicism, my skepticism about anybody says, oh, things happen for a reason. They don't. That's not true.
But it's hard to argue that.
Things happen because they happen.
Yeah.
We have free will in whatever this constantly shaking snow globe is of our universe. That's all it is. Nothing happens for a reason. Well, there are no reasons. You make your own reasons. We have free will.
No, you're
right.
But
I'm saying, but the circumstances here have tested my skepticism.
Yeah,
that's as far as I'll go.
Okay, and I'll accept that, and I'll take that,
which is a big step for me.
Yes, hearing you say that,
that's as far as I'm going to go. So the question is, what are we doing now? And everyone's like, okay, great. We heard your stories. What is this? What is Dan Bernstein Unfiltered? And what's the other pod we're going to be doing?
So we're co-hosting a pod together called Forward Progress, and it's a Chicago Bears podcast. And I am so excited about getting to talk about the Bears with you.
I am too,
and the Bears fan out there who is going to consume this podcast to hear our takes on the Bears, our thoughts on the Bears, to watch the season together and react together.
That's going to start tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's going to, at the moment, be on a twice-a-week schedule. We think Mondays, Thursdays, and we're going to do post-game.
Well, we will do post games.
We are going to record, and some games we're probably going to be able to start recording before the clock hits zeros. I hope for good reason and not bad.
Right.
The answer is I don't know, but we're going to have it up as soon as we can after games.
So the important thing to know: 312 Sports Podcast Network, Dan Bernstein Unfiltered, Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast. You need to subscribe. Get into it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whatever your favorite platform is. We'll be on YouTube as well. Go there and subscribe on YouTube so that you can get alerts and updates and be a part of it whenever new episodes drop. As Dan mentioned, we will eventually go every day with Bears. And I think that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later, because I'm already excited to talk more Bears. But, we have a lot going on to get this thing all up and running and going. So, and I did want to mention one thing real quick, too, is that early on in my journey, I did counseling as well, too, because it was really valuable to help me understand the deficiencies that I had in my own character about what I needed to understand why those things were there. Like, you can recognize what you're lacking in your own life, but understanding why they're there is the important thing to bridging that gap to make sure that you can correct those and change those and make a course correction. That's what I did. So I know if you talk about therapy, and I don't want people to have, negative, people can have any reaction they want, but it's valuable. It's invaluable to be able to go out to someone who can help guide you through, as you say, the wilderness. For me, it's like a course correction in life. I've also decided in my own journey, and it's been 19 months now, I quit drinking. And only just for health reasons. Over the last several years, I've learned some things about myself on a health standpoint too. I have some cardio stuff that I need to take care of. I want to, be 100. I want to live for a long time and see my kids grow up and have kids and do all that stuff. And I just realized that I'm just not going to drink. It's just not good for me. It's just not healthy. So I've decided. So I've been 19 months without drinking, which is, counter to what my first 16 years in
the first incarnation of what everyone's mental schema is of where you fit in the world. Well, I'm excited to hear you excited about the Bears.
Yes, no, I'm so excited about the Bears, and I love my Cubs, but the Bears have always been, regardless of the quarterback or the coach or how bad they are, how good they are, they have always been appointment TV for me my entire life. And no other team can claim that from me. Michael Jordan could. The Chicago Bears can. The Cubs when they're good. Bulls in the playoffs. Blackhawks in the playoffs. White Sox in the playoffs.
In order.
Yes.
Got it.
But the Bears are number one, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to launch Forward Progress.
Forward Progress is going to be a blast, and we are going to dive deep into Bears stuff. When people are asking, are you going to have guests? Are you going to have experts? The answer is, first of all, yes to everything. As far as Dan Bernstein Unfiltered goes, our decision was we're not going to force stuff on you just to have a bit.
Right.
We're not going to say this is time for this segment and this is time for this. We're going to just let it roll. And we are going to be as honest about everything as we can, which is really limitless now. And not that we weren't able to be honest before. I shouldn't paint it that way.
Correct.
But we just have, without the FCC looming over us, we can do it in a little different way, too. We just got a lot more flexibility with time. We're not breaking for commercials. We're not necessarily going to be following the radio clock in the same way. And there's a lot of stuff I got to unlearn about radio, and that's going to be an ongoing thing of things that I'm used to about identify the station and to make sure there are time checks or whatever it is, all the stuff that we grew up with. I don't have to do anymore, which is cool. But the goal is to talk Chicago sports primarily with brains and guts and zero pretense. And that's my promise to you. Brains and guts and zero pretense when it comes to Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. And it will be more than sports. It will be. I promise you that too, because sports is connected to everything. There is no stick to sports. There is no stick to sports because sports is part of culture. It's part of politics. It's in everything. And even if there's something that isn't necessarily connected to sports, you've known any number of bits that we've done in the last 30 years about strange news or silly things or important news or a movie review or something or a restaurant that I find that you might find interesting. It's all of that and more. All of that and more. And we're not going to shy away from tough topics because we are going to talk about our world's on fire right now. And there's a lot of stuff that sucks about our world right now. A lot. And I've got some ways of dealing with that. I hope I can help you because I've figured out a prism through which to see the inexorable rise of fascism. And the answer is in the Marx Brothers. The answer is in satire. The answer is in understanding how stupid and silly a lot of this is. As dangerous as it is, and as dangerous as it can seem, I will never stop making fun of it. I will never, ever, ever stop using the best weapons at my disposal of real satire. So don't worry. Do not worry about that.
Yeah, and as things go along, as we get up and running and going, and what we've shown over 15 years together and 30 years in your career, we can spot when things develop organically and what to lean into and what to work, and that will too. That will come.
And you will. And and we'll get feedback. We'll get feedback in YouTube comments. We'll get feedback elsewhere. And we might set up an email at some point.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have email, how can I get Bears Thoughts from Stonecutter?
Right, because we can't go without hearing from Stonecutter.
Right. How can I get the Joe Sheehan newsletter? I have to make sure.
Ding.
Right? There it is. First Joe Sheehan mentioned.
Yes, first of millions.
That's going to happen. He reached out, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Very good.
Again, you know who your friends are. So football season is upon us. You're in a fantasy league. So what do you get for winning your fantasy league? You get bragging rights, or you get to enjoy the loser of your league doing something stupid like getting an inadvisable tattoo. Well, how about cash? My bookie pays cash. So this year, you can do it right. Whether you're betting the spreads, live lines, or you like the moonshot parlays, my bookie is your one-stop sportsbook and casino in one. It's one account. It's one wallet. You can bet football all weekend. You can hit the slots whenever you want. There's no switching apps. There's no jumping platforms. It's just action at your fingertips. And if you are new to my bookie, you can use my code, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. Make your play. If it doesn't hit, you get it right back with the Bet Back bonus. It's that easy. It's just a one-time rollover on the return bet. You're free to reload and keep firing. It's at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, with the code DBU for Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. The code DBU. Claim your bet back bonus, and then the football season can be one where the bragging rights also come with a bankroll. MyBookie is where bettors win together. Bragging's good, but cashing is better.
All right, so you've been away in the wilderness for 5 months,
God.
and a lot has happened. Okay. So we're
talking sports now, right?
And sports.
Okay.
Sports. So what I want to do is I want to catch up your audience with your thoughts on things that have happened over the last 5 months. Obviously, there's been a lot. We can't do all of it in one episode.
Of course.
I will tease one thing. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's the next day. We are going to do a special in memoriam segment.
Oh yeah. So like just a death roll call?
A death roll call over the last 5 months.
So many.
There's the list I have, which I've started.
You're not going to show me.
Not going to show you. I'm gonna throw them out to you, and then for commentary.
Are we doing this tomorrow?
We can do it tomorrow,
or split it up, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have a feeling.
I
have a feeling that this is going to be more than one episode of the death roll.
It's definitely going to be within this week. We will get it in.
Okay,
we'll get it in our first week.
We should do it in chronological order too,
because there's one that I'm so excited about though.
Okay, don't tell me.
I'm not. But I'm so excited about it.
Okay. Good.
I'm so excited.
So it'll basically be like an in memoriam on the Oscars, but stopping them for commentary.
Yes.
Like Beth and I would do anyway.
Yes.
Where we'd pause it and be like, wait, how do we know that person?
And yeah. I'm hoping to see. I want to see of the names that I have. It's a pretty lengthy list. Like how many you didn't know were dead.
Bring out your dead. we will be bringing out our dead,
because I'm going through the list and I was like, well, he died.
Wait, are you now? Do me a favor.
Okay,
promise me you're not going to put in people who aren't dead. Just as like poison pills in there. It's like, I gotcha.
I promise.
Oh, he's alive.
No, yeah. We don't need anyone angry.
You knucklehead. Right. Yeah. We can't be killing people.
Yeah, this isn't like a Deadpool. So
okay. All right.
We're not doing that.
Okay, good.
Only people that have died.
Okay. But so for today though.
So if you have died, there's a possibility you could be on the show.
Yes, and send us an email to confirm, please, that you've died.
All right. So but I want to talk about things that have happened in sports.
Okay.
Since you've been gone in the wilderness, we'll do that.
I can be for the first time.
I'm just going to let you go at it. Let's start.
Why do I sound like Murph?
Oh, boy.
Moving on. Hey.
Oh, boy.
I sound like that jive music all of a sudden.
Let's start with football. Let's start there.
Okay, football.
Let's start with football, please.
It takes us one show.
Shakes. Oh, no.
No. Freddie.
Okay.
What's your beef?
Oh, no. All right, let's start with football.
Football.
Now I'm in a dark place.
Football. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Foosball.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you knew this because you've been gone. The Bears made a hire at head coach.
Yes.
Were you aware of that?
I was aware.
Did you know that?
The Ben Johnson thing we did.
Oh, okay. So you're good. Okay. I don't know if you knew that.
They extended Ryan Poles.
And
they said, okay, Ryan Poles, extension. And my response was, fine. Fine. I get it. I understand the reasons for the extension. He hasn't won anything. All they've done is lose a ton of games.
Yes.
he also signed off on the retention of Matt Eberflus, which is nearly unforgivable. It's a massive, massive boner. And I don't know if we could do the post hoc ergo propter hoc here and say that had they not retained Eberflus, they wouldn't have Ben Johnson right now. If you can tell me that that horrible mistake allowed them to get Ben Johnson, and would I live through the pointlessness and nihilism of that Eberflus season, or half season, most of season, to get Ben Johnson? Let me answer that later. But if Ben Johnson wasn't going to take a job, and if they would have had some other schmuck here instead of Ben Johnson, and keeping Eberflus allowed them to get this guy, in whom I believe, for now, then I'll listen to that argument. But in general, I don't know what to think about polls. I think, like, this draft, the Bears had a draft. And the headline is, Bears have a draft. They didn't use the draft as much as let it come to them. It was a typically fatalistic, well, this was our pick, and we used this pick, and this is what was on the board. There are other GMs who will grab it by the throat and make the draft theirs by moving things around. Whatever the circumstances were. Maybe they wanted their new coaching staff to get a look at what they already had because they weren't sure. The other coaching staff was so bad that maybe they screwed a bunch of people up and maybe the development curves were not what they thought. So I can understand why he might have wanted to take a more passive approach to this year's draft. But okay, so he's extended. Their response was fine. The other story is that Kevin Warren, who has gained some capital in my mind because of the Ben Johnson hire, he helped pull that off. And I told you they were going to Arlington Heights.
Yes.
I told you this from jump. As soon as they bought that property in Arlington Heights, all the other stuff was absolutely paper-thin leverage ploy.
Well, it was only because they did it in the wrong order.
Of course.
They bought the land, then hired the guy to build the stadium. Didn't give the guy the opportunity to leverage anything because they lost all leverage at that point.
It was over.
Yes, it was over.
It's been over.
Yes.
I'm a little surprised that Kevin Warren has now sort of laid down this idea of if they don't pass the state law to allow them to have infrastructure, they can't go forward. I have a feeling he's going to walk that back. He's going to have to walk that back because then what?
They're moving to Arlington Heights.
Of course they are.
It's that simple.
Of course they are.
And anything else is just trying to gain opportunities to spend less money.
And if in fact there is some government money for infrastructure, that's okay. You're not paying for the stadium. You're helping people. You're helping the taxpayer if you are building off-ramps and controlling traffic. I don't mind that. I don't mind them building an exit ramp. I don't mind there being public money to actually do public things and not private things that are going to benefit the taxpayer. I'm not going to get crazy about that. Are the Bears any good? That's the question I keep getting. I have no idea. I don't know yet. I've got some really big concerns that we'll obviously get into in Forward Progress about where some of the injuries are going, but they're being coached. And bottom line is, I trust now for the first time that they don't just use the word accountability as a meaningless catchphrase, that there is some accountability now. And it might look ugly to start, but I will retain a level of optimism. That's where I stand with the Bears.
And last thing on Ryan Poles, if them keeping Matt Eberflus brought a shift within the organization to actually fire a coach in season, great. Then I'll take it.
If they had to stare bad coaching in the eye and look into the abyss,
yes,
to actually realize better business,
to say, hey, for the first time ever, we're going to fire a coach in season, great. Then that's great.
Okay.
Now, and fine, that's all done in the past. Now it's Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, Ben Johnson. Show me what you got.
Go get it.
Yeah.
Show us, indeed. Now to the Cubs.
You want to go Cubs first?
Yeah, they're more important. Yes, absolutely, I do.
That was a joke.
Oh no, I haven't. Believe me, I'm only starting now to watch the White Sox again because they were completely off. I couldn't watch. They finally gave the broadcaster some Quaaludes. Yeah, whoever's in charge of the pregame John
Monitoring
Shriven
that? Yes.
Quaaludes, like it just
Not
finally,
enough.
something chilled him out, or they gave him shock treatment or something, because at least they got him to sound normal, at least.
A 15 to a 9.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just take it down, man. So
All right, Cubs.
Quaalude guy. Cubs. I think they might have screwed up the deadline, and there are some times where you got to go for it, and they didn't. And
So is it bad to trade for someone and then have them hurt the first time out? Is it they should avoid that? Or no?
The velocity drop was concerning, even though his fastball was more effective. You're talking about Soroka?
Yes.
Soroka? I just wanted them to overpay if they had to, but Jed will never overpay. Jed is so hung up on perfect valuation, and I get it. As a solver of puzzles, as wanting things to be just right sometimes, that's his thing. He doesn't want to miss on proper valuation of trade assets. But sometimes when you're the best team in baseball at the break, and this might be your year, I think there's been too much put on his contract status. He got extended too.
Right.
Fine, I get that. He's a great steward of Ricketts' money. He's good enough at his job that, however you want to define his job, I'm not going to get hung up there. But I just thought this was a time when it's okay to overspend. Flags fly forever. They talk about seasons being precious, about opportunities to win the World Series. Win the World Series. You don't need to get valuation exactly right. You can overpay. It's okay. People won't remember. If you're having a parade, people don't care.
Right.
So I was disappointed that they didn't try a little harder to get some frontline pitching, which I still think they're going to need. Maybe add another stick. It was just to get a utility guy and a couple of veteran bullpen arms and a bottom level rotation guy. I thought was just kind of weak sauce.
Oh, it was very disappointing. I mean, it was extremely disappointing. And the fact that you lost your number one guy for the year, your number two guy was down for several months, and you were still playing the kind of baseball they were playing and still winning baseball games with that offense, and then to not go all in with an opportunity to win this year.
Disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Story of the Cubs is Pete Crow Armstrong. And he is not only a fabulous baseball player, but just a wonderful young man. And it makes him really easy to root for. He seems smart and nice and funny and enjoys the interaction with the fans. He plays with a degree of joie de vivre and heart on his sleeve that you can't teach. And as much as we loved Javier Baez and his ability to do that, Armstrong is similar in that regard, with I think even a little bit more self-awareness, a little bit more of that kind of emotional control when he knows he's being kind of swaggy. And I like him. I do think there's going to be ongoing adjustment with him. We saw the rookie adjustment. We always say, well, the league, get around the league once, and now they've got all your film and they've got all your data. When you become a star and a burgeoning superstar, that's all dialed up times 10.
Yeah.
And then every single pitch and every decision that's made to you when you're standing there in the box, everything they're going to try to know about you, if you really are a superstar, you bounce back from that too. And you see that play out on a larger scale. And it's something I think he can do. I hope we don't remember this as the culmination of collapsing Cubs, having a team like the Brewers just blowing their doors off right now.
I cannot believe the way the Brewers are playing. It's remarkable what they're doing.
Bulls, meh. Absolute ongoing meh. Noah Esenge, meh. The Lonzo Ball trade for Okoro, meh. I don't know. I know I'm a huge fan. I'm going to follow them probably like nobody else does in this market.
Correct.
Because
in this room?
And it's certainly in this room. I can tell you that. But I don't know what they're trying to do. The East is wide open. That's the good thing. A couple of injuries here, a couple more injuries there. They could find themselves a 7 seed. But
yay.
But yeah, hey. I don't know where they're going. I don't know what they're doing, but I know I'm definitely going to be watching and enjoying. And I will tell you one more thing before we get into some other stuff. the first time after I got fired that I really missed my job. Had missed having the only time I woke. I'm like, God damn, do I want a hot mic right now? And I was watching. I don't know why, because I had nothing else to do. I got CNN on, and I'm watching the announcement of the new Pope.
Pope Bob.
And it's like, wait a sec. He's from Chicago. So first it was he's from Chicago. I'm like, oh my God, he's from Chicago. Then it was his name is Bob. And then it was he's from the South Side. And so we start joking, oh, he's probably a Sox fan. Then it turns out not only is he a Sox fan, there is video of him at the World Series with a Sox hat on.
Yes.
And he's the Pope.
The Pope.
And all I could think was, my head is exploding. Thankfully, all the jokes got made.
Yes.
All the memes are done. There wasn't anything out there that I because I'm like, I want to tweet so bad. I want to post so bad.
Have you seen anywhere the sports cards? There's actually Pope Bob sports cards.
Pope Bob.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He's actually Bob from the South Side.
Yeah, I like the culmination of it though was the video of him at the World Series.
Yes.
That's the Pope of the Catholic Church.
The one who talks to God.
Yes, God's man.
Right. Like, as I understand this,
Southside Bob.
As I understand this, he is able to communicate. He's the vessel. He's the conduit to God.
Yeah, God. He's God's man, period. And he's from the South Side, and his name is Bob, and he loves the White Sox.
Bob, this is God. Hey, God. Right. How you doing, God? Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Oh, hey, sorry there, God.
I'm like immediately getting like the super fans.
But it's
instead of the Last Supper.
It's beyond that, though.
Yeah.
I of course first think of all of the number of Bobs that we've dealt with, and then I think of like Bob from Niles.
Yeah, it's the first guy I thought of.
He comes out for like this papal encyclical, papal bull, ranking a certain virtue by pieces of pie.
Yes.
I liked it. I don't know. He's at the Basilica. He's leaning out over St. Peter's.
What do you think about being meek?
I don't know. I liked it. Whatever happened to Juan Pizarro? That's when I kind of knew.
Moment that you were like, oh
that
my
was
God.
the moment it was the first time I missed this.
That's great.
Hey, look who's here as part of Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. My guy, Russ Armstrong and Chicago Window Guys. We are so happy to have them as part of the team. Great to have Russ along. And you know I've talked about Russ for years. Chicago Window Guys are windows locally made here in Chicago. Russ himself will come to your home to give you the estimate. No subcontracted labor. The crew works for Russ. The same crew that installed my windows will install yours. And you can see this too. If you're getting quotes, ask other people who's installing my windows, and they won't be able to answer. And that's because they use subcontracted labor. So there's a price match guarantee, and you don't have to deal with those sales gimmicks that everybody's throwing at you. Russ offers the best product, best price guaranteed. 847-302-9171. You can check out all the 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com. It's Russ Armstrong. I have recommended him to friends, to neighbors, to coworkers, and everybody loves the work that the Chicago Window Guys do. 847-302-9171. ChicagoWindowGuys.com. When it comes to your sports betting, cash is king. You're not in this for bragging rights. You're in it for real cash. So do it right and stop celebrating like it's 2009 and start betting like it's 2025. And this goes for whether you're playing spreads or chasing lines or trying to get the big payday. In a parlay, MyBookie is the place to go because MyBookie is your one-stop sportsbook and casino and one. That means it's one account, it's one wallet. You can bet football all weekend. You can hit the slots after dark. There's no switching apps around or jumping platforms. It's straight-up action. And here's what's cool. Right now, if you're new to MyBookie, I'm going to give you a code right now. It's for this show, Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Those initials, DBU. That's the code, those 3 letters, DBU. You bet up to $500. That first bet, fully covered. You make your play. If it doesn't hit, you get it right back. They call it the bet back bonus. No stress. It's a one-time rollover on the return bet. You're free to reload and then just keep going from there. So sign up. It's mybookie.ag. With that code I just gave you, even you can remember it. I know if I can remember it, you can remember it. DBU. That will claim your bet back bonus, and then your football season is one where any bragging rights also come with a bankroll. My bookies, where bettors win together. Bragging's good. Cashing in is better.
All right. So here's what I want to do to wrap up the first episode of Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Yes.
On 312 Sports. So you're gone 5 months.
Yes. I wasn't really gone. I was here.
You were here.
Yeah.
You were not talking to us for 5 months.
Right.
What were some of the highlights for you over the last 5 months? What were some of the good things? So you said
there's always a ton of good things.
This is going to end up being a great thing for you. How it's all happened, where you're at today, where you're going forward. Thanks for your transparency, telling the story too. Appreciate that.
It's not going to stop.
So, what were some of the great things over the last 5 months?
Well, outside of the healing and the therapeutic successes,
outside of that,
it's obviously sort of medically were the most important.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, a wife of 26 years, you still have 2 kids, you have the summer in Chicago. I mean, you still have a life to live. What were the good things that happened over the last 5 months?
Well, having my son home for 3 of those months was helpful. He went back 2 days ago, but having him there and being around a little bit. I mean, he was big. I didn't see a ton of him because he has his own, kind of grown up life now, as does Zoe. She's got a full-time job downtown.
It's insane to me. So 24 years ago, we met.
Yeah. Zoe's 23.
You didn't have kids. My daughter was 4.
Yeah, no, Zoe was just born. Yeah.
Yeah. And now my daughter's 28, married.
It's amazing.
Zoe's out of school.
Yep. Getting ready
Jason's
to go to grad
in
school.
His junior year.
Yep. Junior year. Just, and he came home, he had to go to physical therapy for throwing too many sweepers.
Oh boy.
First time I said, well, you're finally an old pitcher. I said, it's happened. He's like, yeah, got this weird thing on my shoulder. I said, yeah, you know what it is? It's from throwing that damn sweeper.
Yeah.
75% of the time.
Wow.
Finally paying the piper, but he's good. Yeah, having family stuff and having the same kind of transparency and openness and stuff with family was really good. And the therapy we've done together too has been really good.
Here, let me ask you, because I want to just real fast. I'm sorry, real fast.
No, it's okay. We're not against the clock anymore.
No, but it's just because I'm just curious. So you briefly mentioned, and we talked about too, what had happened and how it impacted your family and your relationships there. Mm-hmm. And then how have you guys worked through that? Where are things at now?
We've rebuilt a lot of trust.
Yeah,
we've had to understand, like, even though, as my great-grandmother once said, parenting is a life sentence.
Did she say it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would slip into Yiddish without even knowing it. Ida, yes. Lived into her mid-90s.
Oh, wow.
Parenting is a life sentence. That you're always evolving as a parent. And I think understanding my kids as adults and relating to them as adults and knowing how to do that. You got a head start on that. I didn't. And you're younger than I am. But it's been seeing them as adults and seeing how well they're doing and taking pride. And because Jason had it tough. He transferred out of Bucknell because he hated it there. And he had some bad experiences socially and didn't feel comfortable. And he said, I'm transferring. Okay. And what he's found at Tulane has just been special and remarkable and wonderful. Great. And for him to reinvent. And at the moment, he is now a transfer mentor. They're paying him. He went down early, and he is going to help the transition other transfer students. He's going to lead meetings, and he's going to do little seminars and sort of give everybody his phone number to text and say, look, if as a transfer you need some advice, you need some help. He's now doing that as working for the university and doing that, which is really, really
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah,
he had to apply. He really wanted to and had to apply to get that. And he's very involved with the writing sports at the student paper and still pitching on the club team. And he's made wonderful friends who all came in for Lollapalooza. I had a basement full.
Oh, I know.
Of these oh my God. How many 30 packs of Miller High Life can I buy? That was
Apparently not enough.
And meanwhile, when did that become a value beer? Like, when did Miller High Life? Like, that's good. Miller High Life is good.
It's delicious. Yeah.
And you can get it in a 30 pack for like $17. When did this happen? I don't know. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I do think that learning how to relate to these kids as adults, and then what Beth and I did, and this is part of what was part of one of the great things. We decided to take a week away, just the two of us. We said, look, we know we're starting this new thing. Let's just go away. And we did it on a whim without planning a lot. She's good at planning, obviously. But look, how many miles do we have? Where can we get a couple of tickets? And we looked around the world, and she's been to London twice. I had never been. So we got an Airbnb in a neighborhood south of the Thames called Elephant and Castle. Found this really nice place.
Great pub, too.
Well, it's named after the town. And we just went. We picked up and we went to London for a week. And it was like honeymooning again.
That's great.
We had just such a fabulous. We always travel great together. We didn't overplan, and we went to the Churchill War Rooms, and we went to the National Gallery.
Was he there?
He was not. Where's Churchill? This sucks. But no, learned a lot about him, and we did Westminster Abbey. We took a day in Greenwich. We walked to the markets in Notting Hill, and we ate fabulously. We had
I bet.
Oh my God, the Indian food. We really did our research, and we went to what they call the Curry Mile, which is London's version of Western and Devon, but
it's known as the Curry Mile.
They call it the Curry Mile.
Wow.
That's everyone told us to go. The neighborhood is called Tooting, and we took and we took the Bakerloo line down there, and I found a place called the Royal Mahal. Because there's a lot of fine dining Indian in Soho and West End, but we wanted real like Indian. Oh my God, it was amazing.
This is the Royal Mahal.
The Royal Mahal.
Okay.
And there's little kids running around and sort of garishly decorated. And if somebody orders the birthday dessert, there's a maitre d' that puts on this.
Yeah, and Dan's not. He literally said that.
Yes,
like literally. That's what he said to.
Oh, I wanted so hot my ass exploded.
And he was punching his fist into his hand.
And I don't know what they put in it, but he was
dying.
He was dying. So that's what happened to me. It was called a Madras curry, which is a British curry. It's not even truly Indian. Okay. It's a British Indian thing. You can't get it here. And they brought, and maybe you can't, I just haven't seen it. And they brought a lamb Madras. And it was like when they bring the hallucinogenic chili to Homer Simpson. It's like fluorescent green and
how hot was it?
Oh, dude,
bad.
Great.
Oh.
Beth was taking video, and I made her stop. I was like, my eyes got red. I had snot coming out of my nose, sweating everywhere. I sweat through my pants. It was so bad.
I don't understand how you like that.
And then the waiter came over and looked at her. She said, "Is he okay?" And I kind of coughed through it, and I asked for the lassi, which is the yogurt drink.
Yeah.
And they usually sweeten it. I was like, "No, bring me 2 unsweetened, please." And that helped. That helped.
I don't understand how you enjoy that. I really don't. Like,
because there's endorphins. It's an actual chemical. Oh my God, it was amazing. So London was great. That was a highlight for me. A couple other things.
That's good. I'm glad you guys got away. That's
I am
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
The movie Sinners. I think I'm now on 5 times.
Okay.
I saw it twice in the theater.
Wow.
I saw it once, and then 4 days later went back and saw it again. I liked it better the second time, when I could appreciate some things more. But man, I hope Delroy Lindo wins Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, he was great.
He was wonderful. And the music from start to finish it's just so compelling visually, and when the music overlays everything. And now that I've done all these deep dives on some of the smaller things they put in, and Haley Steinfeld, it was just fantastic. And how it turns in the middle into something. And I always tell people, go see it, but I don't want to tell you about it. I don't want to ruin it. Absolutely love that movie, and I hope it's appreciated. The last thing that I've discovered, Dean's brand peppermint ice cream.
Okay.
Dean's brand in the Jewels.
Okay.
Got to go to the Jewels because Mariano's has Kemp's brand as their house dairy.
Okay, they do.
Dean's is for the Jewels. I love peppermint ice cream, and it's hard to find sometimes because everything's like an old-fashioned actual pieces of peppermint candy. I used to like, when I tried it, the Oberweis brand, but I don't want to give that dipshit any money. So I don't. So I stopped. But this, and I was never like a big ice cream guy.
Right.
Oh my God. This stuff, it's a problem.
Okay.
It comes in the big tub, like the Breyers tub.
How many nights does it last?
I try to make it last 3.
Oh God.
In my mind, 3, but sometimes
you're doing 2 nights?
Yeah.
Of the big tub?
Yeah. Actually, that was going to be the name of the podcast, 2 Nights in the Big Tub. He's 2 nights. I'm the big tub.
You know what's so funny? When we were out in,
it's so good though.
When we were out in Minnesota and we'd finished dinner, and there was that ice cream shop across. So for whatever reason, so my wife loves ice cream, and now I've gotten in. So now ice cream is like my treat at the end of the night,
especially after spicy.
And I love going out for ice cream. It seems like my day's not complete until we go out and get ice cream. So we finished, and there's we're all together in Minnesota. There's 5 or 6 of us, and we come out of the restaurant, and across the street is that ice cream shop. And like in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, I would love to get some ice cream.
I was thinking it too.
If I was going to say like to this group of guys, hey, we should all go get some ice cream, I just envisioned being laughed at.
I wouldn't have.
So I was like, all right, I'll forget about it. And then we get back to the hotel, and I mentioned it to you, and I'm like, did you see that ice cream shop? And you're like, I wanted to go. And I'm like, God damn it! Why didn't I say something?
Well, then I ended up getting a pint of ice cream, and eating it in bed, which is the greatest thing of all time. But I can only do that when I'm at a hotel. I can't do that at home.
Do you remember what trip were we on where we were like, you come meet in my room, we'll go out, and I get into your room, and you had the latch there, so the door was open. It was
right.
So I just pushed it open.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the bed in your underpants.
Yeah.
And you had like
wings.
2 big orders of wings.
Yeah.
And you were using the bath towels as your napkins.
Yeah, they're napkins.
So your bath towels are just covered in that bright orange sauce. It's all over your face. It's like on your chest. And you're sitting in your underwear eating in bed.
Yes. What's your problem? And?
Nothing is wrong, I guess. I'm sorry.
No, you have to know me.
Yeah, and then it was like, are you ready to go out? Yeah, almost, buddy.
Give me a sec.
Let me finish eating.
Yeah, right there with you. Well, that's when we'd go out twice.
Yes.
And we'd have like 3 dinners.
Well, I had to. You didn't. I did. Because Terry ate at 5. You didn't eat till like 11. And then sometimes I would have my normal meal at like 7. But it was like the 5 o'clock dinner that you would just sit there.
That was the night where we did Waffle House. On the way home from Waffle House, went to the Jack in the Box drive-thru.
Yes.
For translucent tacos.
Ugh.
Yep.
No, and so multiple dinners. Because Terry's at 5. You're after some drinks were consumed, so yours was late.
Mm-hmm.
I would eat in the middle, have my own regular dinner, but I would eat with Terry because I felt bad he ate alone. And then I would eat with you at the end of the night. So I wasn't 600 pounds at the end of that show.
That's pretty amazing. Well, you were eating sympathy dinners with everybody.
Yes, I felt so bad. And then there was the one night after Spicy, I had to take you guys for ice cream. You guys were in
right.
I'm driving.
We ended up at a gas station.
It was like a Circle K.
It was a Circle K, and we got like the Heath bars.
Yeah, because I couldn't find an ice cream shop open.
Right. Come on, Maddie.
So I'm like,
we're all counting on you.
Gas station ice cream.
Whatever.
Go for it.
It was good enough.
Oh, boy.
All right. That's episode 1.
Yes. This is Dan Bernstein, Unfiltered.
See? I'm completely unfiltered.
Yeah. Oh, you've never looked more unfiltered.
I know, right? It suits me.
Yeah.
It suits me.
So this is every day. Every day, Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Like,
so we're gonna have it for you.
Subscribe, be a part of it. I hope it's going to be everything you think it's going to be and even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want more info on what we're doing here, 312sports.com. That's the website. But like as Dan said, go to YouTube, subscribe. Any place you find your favorite platform for podcasts, go there, find the show. Forward Progress. That launches tomorrow. All Bears, me and Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Dan and me. Yes.
No, Dan and I. Actually,
it's me.
No.
I'm doing the podcast.
Dan and I are doing
Dan
the
and I
podcast.
are. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm right. He's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I wonder how many episodes you think people think it's gonna last
Before you throw something at me. Over under?
None. I love you too much.
Aw.
So it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, say goodbye to the people. They missed you.
No, I'll be back. I'll be back in their ear before you know it.
Yeah. Say goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Hello, goodbye. Love you.
Bye.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.